Now they ain't no denying it. I've had my fair share of great times on Rust. Things that I'll never be able to pull off again. Like the time I built a base inside of someone's compound and lived in their shadows. Oh! Until we got bored and raided them. You're gonna have to tube me off the wall. Or possibly the time I built a prison as a front for organised crime. And maybe a little bit for my own weird pleasures. Welcome to Russian Redemption. Or that time we spent days building and growing a hemp empire only to watch it all burn. I can't help it.
Right, they're dead. It's over.
Ah yes, good times. Long story short, I've had some great moments on Rust. A lot of them that will never be topped. But nothing so great that I quit playing Rust. Don't talk about my mum. Oh, the rocket! Until we had the greatest wipe in history. Now it's hard to pinpoint the exact moment we knew this was going to be a legendary wipe, but it was somewhere around here. The f.
Some turrets.
Now why is this so important for our story? Well, because I'm a well-known advocate of revenge. Like this wipe just before, getting harassed by door campers for hours on end.
And the machete and everything. Oh, yeah.
Now these guys would seriously not leave us alone.
I hope I don't get f***ing murdered opening this door. Yep.
And it was time I sent a message, so I killed them. A lot.
Everyone's dead.
Then I made a trap airlock to inflict some serious mental harm.
Close the door! Close the door! It's all over, you mug! You've been played! Oh, I'm gonna kill you! Oh, you f***ing idiot!
Fuck you! Fucking hey! Are you fucking hacker, bro? Are you hacker, bro? Are you fucking hacker, bro?
Fucking scream!
Although this would have been surely enough to teach them a lesson they might not ever forget.
You belong to me now.
Yep. I would just end up raiding them anyway for increased amounts of damage.
I got them all sleeping on the floor in front of me. Yo, they were quite stacked. Yo, gunpowder for days. Oh, man. I mean, it's not great. Bam.
So, where was we? Yes. Shot down by the biggest base on the server. This giant ass base. I couldn't just let them do what they wanted to my minicopter and get away with it. Something had to be done to these menaces. And if I've not spout this out enough yet, I was gonna get revenge. So this isn't our first rodeo against the big boys of the playground. We've been against some formidable foes in the past for sure. Like on this wipe prior, this big old compound of goons started making plays on our territory, forcing our hand.
Yeah, they're looking at
Yeah, we door camped them. Bean cannon! I got a bean cannon there!
Yo, G.
A trap base, it seemed. We couldn't let them keep this, so we raided it. Then the next time they came to visit, bam.
Someone got hit with a shotgun trap. Yo, he died?
Nah.
Yo.
Then to add insult to injury, I plastered the outside of their base with mean signs to show them we are not. Anyways, I really gotta stop with the flashbacks. It's getting more out of hand than my gambling addiction. Don't believe me? Just check out my fiend-like behavior on the wipe before.
One scrap, I'll give it you back in like 10 minutes. You're a legend. Free? It's on free.
You're in, kid. You fucking scam me. Okay, that's enough. This is really getting a little bit silly now. Let's stick to this wipe. The greatest wipe of all time. And how did the greatest wipe so great that it made me stop playing Rust start? Well, like every other wipe.
I've literally got...
getting murdered senselessly for walking around naked. Let me just go off to my island and create a little no. But this is par for the course. The usual song and dance of spawn, die, repeat. It's to be expected on a server less than 12 hours old. Everybody looking for that prime real estate to make a killing. And early on, it's safe to say we found ours. A tiny little island in the top right corner of the map with access to a lighthouse and very little competition other than these two guys here. We set to work. Farming the driftwood logs was our only source of wood, but given the fact we were vibing on a ×2 server, it wasn't all that bad. I got to work making the empire, and within very little time, we made a level 3 workbench, we got ourselves barricaded inside on the island. Things were looking great, other than these two eyesores. Yeah, things were looking great. We logged off here, and it would be another 24 hours until I logged on again because of, reasons. God, this game is just so fucking cool. When I eventually came back to Rust, maybe, just maybe, I forgot to fill the tool cupboards for the outer walls, resulting in them falling down. And when the cats are away, the mice will play. So this duo moved onto our land, and after schooling them in the ways of the door camp, we had more company in the form of raiders.
Yo, minicopter's coming over to the base.
Now at this point there were 4 bases on the island, 3 of which were owned by us. Our main base in the middle, currently stacked with stupid amounts of gunpowder and C4. Then the other 2 we had previously raided and left with nothing inside to use as decoys. So anyways, after the poor fools taken the bait and wasted their rockets on our decoys, they decided to mess around with our infestation with what little explo they had left. I would quickly use this time to destroy our mice's bags and genitals, placing them on timers, after which it was time to bring out the C4. Using my massive 5 head, I had a strong understanding of where their TC would be. I'm going to take a wild guess and say it's behind the high qual metal. We stole their tool cupboard, we stole their loot, we stole their life, and we griefed them. Saying this made them quite mad would be an understatement. They went as far as to say some insulting things about my mother. This crime would not go unpunished.
Don't talk about my mum.
So anyways, now if you're currently wondering why the raiders didn't go for our main base to begin with, while most opt for the most efficient price to raid builds, I like to play things a little bit different. On the surface, normal base, airlocks, shooting windows, all the tropes that make a base great, until you take a peek behind. Out of place sheet metal, single door with wooden lock, and the icing on the cake, a toxic sign, a staple of all my bases. With this amazing addition, you are 99% less likely to be raided as potential raiders think you've already been robbed of all your valuables. So with the minor inconvenience off the island and the base still intact, it was time to farm up and get ready for our revenge raid. Hitting a few monuments and taking out Bradley, we had more than enough tech trash to craft the C4 we needed. But if you recall, I told you I had a gambling problem. Well, Grizz does too. So we decided to try a look at Bandit Cam before logging off.
There's the change. We got enough for the heli. And you've got enough.
No,
to
I'm gonna go and recycle all my fucking tech trash.
Yeah, I've got loads of tech trash as well. What about 500 on 20? Let's go. Mate, if this comes through, we eating tonight, brother.
That night we slept with much regret. Today was the day. Grizzly had been very busy that morning. 44 C4. But would it be enough to get through this monster? Long story short, no. It wouldn't be enough. We had a real battle getting through the courtyard alone. These turrets, the goddamn turrets, providing a real pain. Even after breaching the inner walls, and never-ending amounts of turrets seemed to be hiding in every corner. It was not so fun.
Oh, my face.
The battle was real. Enough so that we even used C4 to take out the electrics. It was stupid, I know.
C4 that right now. C4 those right now. Run.
Which didn't help as there were still turrets active anyway.
Oh, that's so good.
Night had fallen, and although we had made it into the core, we had half of our C4 left.
We've got 20 C4 left.
I mean, yeah, we did find some loot. There was some guns.
Yo, there's guns. There's so many guns.
And some material. But we wanted the real juicy loot. So we kept going. We were digging for treasure.
Yeah.
After taking out their tool cupboard and all the electricals we could find, the turrets were offline. I could finally check the loot outside. And the amount of loot just sitting around was absurd. It left me wondering what was still waiting inside. Doubt set in. Our supply was getting dangerously low, with only enough to take out these 3 doors here.
Okay, how many C4 you got?
6. That's enough for all of these.
If main loot wasn't behind these doors, this all would have been for now.
They're all gone.
Boombox. Oh, I found the rockets! We found the rockets in C4! Oh, the rockets! Oh my god!
This was by far the greatest loot I have ever seen in my whole Rust career, and I have my doubts I will ever see anything like it again. The sheer amount of hours that would have been needed to amass this kind of loot is just insane. It's mind-bogglingly crazy. I can only assume this was a 30-man clan, and yeah, it's fair to say our minds were blown, we were completely ecstatic, and yeah, we decided to have some fun. So we used their ridiculous amounts of Explo to finish off their base. Now, when I say there was ridiculous amounts of loot, I kid you not. There was so much so that I could have dragged this out for another 45 minutes and still not showed you the amount of loot they had in this base.
I found 3 of them.
So we moved on. Now, I remember seeing a garage outside of their base. A car was just what we needed to travel in style. Anyways, living on the high, we continued around the map, taking out all the bases we deemed worthy. Now, it may seem like a bit of a waste, but all the loot was expendable. We'd leave it for the despawn gods to take care of.
Yo, look at all this shit on the floor.
Now, this was a great wipe to be sure. Memories that will never be forgotten.
Oh, the rockets!
But before we called it quits, we had one last gamble with all the scrap we had amassed. Needless to say, I lost it all.
Yo, I got 1,020 on 20.
I'm sorry.
And in my fury, I decided to attack the bandit camp.
They took everything from me. They took it all. Yeah.
Twice.
Yo, what are you doing? I can really couldn't do.
Oh no! Oh no! You fucking bastard! Get over me!
But Grizz, on the other hand, was doing quite well for himself. Almost too well.
Oh nice. Oh nice. Oh nice. Oh nice. Oh no.
Now, this amount of scrap was absolutely ridiculous. It even topped the amount of scrap that I had when I built my hemp empire, which I agree at the time was a lot. But in comparison to this, it's basically nothing. It was jump change. Now, we both agreed this power was too much for us to handle.
Let's go and dive with it in the water.
Yeah.
But along the way, a change of plans. Instead of sinking all the money, we would give it to these guys.
Yo, it's come out. Shut me.
And that was it. Our crazy wipe was over and we left feeling a great sense of satisfaction. But it all came at a price. We flew too close to the sun and partied with the angels. But when the wipe clipped our wings, only the shell of our former selves remained. Don't get me wrong, I've played Rust since this wipe. I made a fish and chip shop.
Oh, how's your meal, sir?
How's that going? Nah, you dirty bastard. We became shark hunters. Oh no! I hit him! Oh. We made some slick plays and got some great loot. I killed him! The door's gone. Oh, I'm into the room! But none of it compares to the greatest wipe we'll ever have. Until I have an even greater wipe. Get ready for some slick-ass caravan wipe coming soon, I suppose. But until then, I'm Monkeymaycry. You've been watching some Monkeymaycrytv, and a big thanks to everyone that likes, comments, and subscribes, and whatever else you can do for the algorithm. And also a big thanks to these two legends for becoming members on my channel. Peace out.